What is good? I mean, what is really good, my people? It is UK. Trot the brother, Dr.Blick, the darkest man who rounds. Today, guys, I'll be talking about Jump Force. Lord, oh Lord, have mercy, man. Yesterday night, I was able to play the final session of the closed beta. The beta is now shut today. And in today's video, I'm going to be making a video on my overall thoughts and opinions on the beta. Things I like, things I dislike, things that you guys need to keep in mind when going into the next beta, which is most likely going to be open, or the next demo, whatever they're going to give us, just going into the game in general. So, it has been a time for you guys to get that fried chicken and get that Kool-Aid. Now, it's a perfect time because you're UK. Chocolate Brother will be going ham on this video. So, without further ado, let me just go with it. So, first of all, I got to start off by saying thank you, D3. Thank you for giving me a code, man. We don't talk as much, man. I've known you for pretty much 2 or maybe even 3 years now. But thank you for handing me that code and coming in clutch so that I'm able to play the game. So thank you, D3. If you guys don't know who he is, I'll link him in the description below. Me and him need to get on recording a video. It's been a while, man. We record one video every couple of months. I don't know why it's so long, D3. Why so long, D3? If you're watching this video, why so long? But anyways, let me talk about the gameplay. The gameplay to Jump Force. The gameplay for the most part is fun. I enjoyed it. I can't really say I had any major gripes about the gameplay other than the fact that it was pretty stiff. It was pretty stiff. But I'm not really gonna bag on the game for being stiff due to the fact that this is a closed beta. The game was stiff. The gameplay was laggy at some points. Walking around in the hub menu was very laggy. I hated the hub menu. I hate the way it looks. I don't like the fact that we have a hub menu. What happened to having a main menu? What happened to having me going down from one option to go to another option? But we got a stupid ass hub menu. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like it at all. It lags a lot and I just don't like the layout of it. It looks pretty bland and boring. But from a gameplay standpoint, I'm liking the gameplay. I like the battle damage that characters receive, seeing Zoro's damage on his clothing, seeing Toguro getting damage on his jeans, seeing the overall damages that you see on little detail stuff like Whitebeard's, Blackbeard's little cloak that he wears on his shoulders. Seeing all of that is pretty cool. I like it a lot. I like seeing the damage that Whitebeard gets on his coat. And seeing all of the battle damages is pretty cool in my opinion. I like the way the game is moving in terms of battle damage and stage destruction. Stage destruction isn't really as prominent on certain maps, but overall what they did, I do like it. And I do like the fact that when you're getting your ass knocked to a different map, or when you're knocking their ass to a different map, I like the way it looks and I like the transition is pretty smooth in my opinion. But overall, when it comes down to the gameplay is good. Characters play differently. I gotta put it out there. All the characters play differently. Kind of reminds me of Burning Blood in terms of gameplays. And this could be due to the fact there's Luffy and Zoro and Blackbeard. They play pretty similar in terms of how they do their things and do their attacks. But no one wants to admit that because Burning Blood's an ass game. And since it's got Naruto and Goku and people like that, it plays like J-Stars. Nah. It plays closer to Burning Blood, in my opinion, and Burning Blood plays closer to J-Stars than Jump Force plays to J-Stars. Burning Blood and J-Stars are pretty similar, but Burning Blood was the game that built up on what J-Stars already had fundamentally, but Burning Blood did it in a better way, and Jump Force is the next level of that, in my opinion. So I'm happy to see some Burning Blood elements still in the game. I'm happy to see the way Zoro attacks is pretty similar. Zoro and characters like that have been in recent Spike games are pretty good. It's nice to see that all the characters play differently. I really appreciate games that go out of their way to make every character play and feel different. Because we get into a format with certain games where each character is copied and pasted. No real originality. For the most part, they're pretty much the same, and this game doesn't really do that. Characters play differently, and I'm liking the way they are moving this game in terms of the progression, in terms of building this game to be a good game. I'm liking it so far. But only gripe about the gameplay, it's clunky, it's stiff, and it lags a lot. It lags a lot in certain moments and instances, which is understandable because it's a closed beta. They're still trying to test out some stuff. They're still trying to fix out some bugs and some issues, which I do think that it will be fixed in the next beta test or the demo, depending on which one we get. So when it comes to that, I'm gonna cut them some slack. I ain't gonna tear them cheeks apart. Banda, you're lucky, bruh. Because normally I'd be ripping into your cheeks, but you're lucky, man. You're lucky it's a closed beta, man. You're lucky. I'm joking. But overall, the gameplay is good. I liked it, in my personal opinion. I know some people are gonna have some gripes on it, which is understandable. But at the end of the day, it's all opinions, man. There's no right or wrong whether you like or dislike a game. It all comes down to the person and what the person likes to see in their own anime, their cross-anime fighting games. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I gotta say about the gameplay. Like I said, the characters were good. And there's one thing I gotta say about the characters, which I did find myself, and this is probably down to the fact that fights end pretty quickly. Let's not get it twisted. The fights end really quickly, and I would prefer, and this is my personal opinion, I would prefer if each character had their own gauge, like in Burning Blood. I'm not a big fan, and same with Dragon Ball Fighters. I'm not a big fan of all characters sharing one gauge. I'm not a big fan of that because the gauge ain't that big. The gauge ain't that big, and it's so easy to end fights so quickly. So I found myself playing through all of the characters, which is good, and I found myself getting bored of all the characters at certain points. It got to a point where I was just like, you know what, man? I don't know who I want to use because I don't feel like using any of these niggas, bro. It got to that point for me personally because I would prefer to be able to switch to any character at any point, because you can't do that. There's like a little line in terms of who you want to switch to. So say if I got Luffy, Naruto, and Goku, I start off with Luffy. Because Naruto is a character I selected second, if I want to switch to a different character, I have to switch to Naruto. I can't switch to Goku. I have to switch to Naruto. Then Luffy goes at the bottom. Goku moves up to second position. And then when I switch out from Naruto, Goku comes in. I don't like that. I want to be able to switch to different character, to whoever I want to switch to. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to switch to whoever I want to switch to. And I'm not a big fan of sharing gauges. I'm not a big fan of three characters sharing gauges. I would rather all three characters have their own separate gauges and their own separate health bars, because in my personal opinion, it makes the fight a lot longer. It makes the fight longer. For the most part, it's kind of short. And keep in mind, there's no difficulty to set, especially if you're playing offline. And if you go online, I never really got the chance to dive into online because I didn't trust the connections. But if the game ain't really competitive, I assume that the game will be ended pretty quickly. And for me personally, I don't really like that. I'd rather have one round with characters with their own gauge than have 2 rounds with characters sharing one gauge, or one health bar, should I say. I'm not really a big fan of that, but other people might think differently. I would rather them share one health bar. I mean have their own health bar than share one health bar. I'm not really a big fan of that. That's just me, my personal opinion when it comes to that. But I know some people might think differently about that, but that's just me. Like I said, overall, that's pretty much all I gotta say. There's not really much to say other than the hub menu sucks. The hub menu and the created character are probably the 2 worst things about this game. The created character is bland. I don't understand why they do the animation of him turning Super Saiyan, of him trying to turn Super Saiyan when he's trying to plant the Spirit Bomb and nothing happens. I don't understand about that. The moves don't really get me excited. There's nothing really special about the created character. All it is, it's just you pulling moves from random different people, which I expected, and just using them all into one character, which is not really hype. I'm not really keen on the created character. I'm not really happy about them being there. And in terms of how they did in this game, in terms of if they're enjoyable, they were pretty much how I expected them to be, and that was shitty. They were pretty shitty. They weren't good at all. I don't really get excited about the created character, and that hub menu was laggy as hell, and it looked bland as well. If you want to give us a hub menu, that is fine, man. Make it look good though. It don't look good. It looks pretty bland. Like Xenoverse 1 and 2's hub menu looked way better than this trash hub menu that they gave us. That's just me. I'm not a fan of the hub menu. I'm not a fan of the created character. I'd rather do a Xenoverse or a Dragon Ball Fighters and give me Chibis to unlocked than have a BS created character that is half-assed, that ain't really that good. That's just me giving my thoughts and opinions about that. And overall, the beta was decent. It was decent. Obviously, it had its flaws, it had its issues, but overall, it was decent. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comment section below. Did you guys enjoy the beta? Did you guys think the beta was good? Or did you guys think the beta was bad? Or are you kind of in the middle? Let me know about this down in the comment section below. And yeah, let me just wrap up this video. So, please comment and subscribe. I know I say this all the time, but at the end of the day, I'm just saying. Please leave a like rating if you enjoyed this video. And yeah, this UK, dr.blick will catch you in the next one. Bye guys.